How do you deal with that fear of failure when you're setting those next ambitious goals in your life and in your career? Just in case you don't know me, I'm Dahlia. What I do is I help people to get highly paid work that they love. And this is such a big question that comes up a lot with my clients when they're looking for clarity about what their goals are. A lot of them have been hiding out for a long time in subpar, let's say, life and career situations where they're not feeling fulfilled, they're feeling like they're not achieving their potential, they're not in a happy place in their jobs. And it can be difficult when they've taken that next step, they've taken that decision to change their situation, but it can be difficult to actually imagine what they want that situation to look like when they've been hiding out for so long in this gray, foggy sort of a reality that they're not really content with. So what comes up a lot when we're working on what those goals actually are, when we're getting clear on, okay, what is the dream? Where do you want to end up? We know you're here now, but where do you want to go? A lot of times they have trouble imagining what that is. And a lot of my clients tell me that the thing that's stopping them from even being able to imagine that is the fear of failure. So as soon as they start to think in the direction of, oh, this is what I would want, immediately there's that kind of, yeah, but what if I don't make it? So let me know below, is this something you resonate with? Does this happen to you as well when you try to dream big, when you try to think about what you want, that feeling or that vision of what you want is automatically accompanied with this, what if I fail? Isn't that unrealistic? What's the point? You know, those kinds of thoughts. And if that's the case with you, then the important thing to know is that, number one, it's really, really important to deal with that fear of failure, because if you don't acknowledge it and deal with it, it's just going to keep sabotaging you. Every single time you think about your goal or you think about where you want to go, it's going to be that one step forward, two steps backwards constantly. And that is no way to go through life. And it's definitely no way to get to your goal. So the first thing is that if you want to get anywhere in your life, you're going to have to give yourself permission to have goals, to dream big, to have goals that are not where you currently are right now. Because if you don't want to be afraid to fail, just stay exactly where you are, and then you won't have that fear of failure. But you've already failed by not having a goal, because you're just going to stay where you are in the situation that is no longer serving you. So I think that is the first thing. You really, really need to give yourself permission to dream big and recognize that nothing is going to happen until you give yourself permission to set it as a vision, set it as a target, set it as a goal. That is just the first step towards changing your situation. Step number one. And so many people are sabotaging themselves at that very first step just because of this doubt of, what if I don't succeed? You know, what if you don't succeed? Well, you'll be exactly where you are right now. Nothing has changed, right? So that's hardly a terrible situation. I mean, that's the one you're in right now. So the terrible situation is not setting any goal whatsoever. And then the second thing to acknowledge is that this fear of failure is kind of silly, actually. I mean, it's impossible to completely fail at something. Where did this dichotomy come from, where it's either success or failure? You're either one or the other. You've probably done a lot of successful things already in your life. And I've noticed with a lot of my clients, and I feel like we've all had this in some shape or form at some time in our lives, where we wonder, am I just a complete failure? Like, am I ever going to be a success? Am I ever going to make it? Quote unquote, make it? But who gets to decide whether we've made it or not made it? You've probably done many successful things. You've probably gotten yourself a good job. You've probably gotten yourself into a field that's difficult to break into. I'm sure you've done something hard in your life. You're probably proud of yourself for something. And now you're just going for that next step. And maybe it's not something you've achieved before, but you're going to figure it out. You're going to put the resources on your side. You're going to give yourself the gift of focus, right? When you set a goal, you decide, this is what I'm doing. You give yourself that permission, then things can start to unfold and you can start to actually make it there. So I thought I would address this because this fear of failure, it's one of those invisible blocks that is stopping so many people even start towards their goals. Like, they're not even able to think about a goal because they already have this invisible saboteur that is not even allowing them to start making a plan towards the goal. So obviously, there's a lot of other stuff that I talk about in these videos when it comes to actually how do you make it towards that goal? How do you upgrade yourself to that new career? What do you need to do? But there's no point in even talking about any of those strategies until you give yourself permission to go for it and you stop constantly worrying about failure. Failure is not doing anything. Failure is staying where you are right now. And I know that sounds a little bit cliche because people say, yeah, you know, it's not about fear of failure. It's all going for your dream is going to be the antidote, and just, you know, feel the fear and do it anyway and all that kind of stuff. But it really is true that if you don't just find a way to ignore the fear or embrace the fear or embrace the fear of failure and actually go for something, then you're never going to make it. You failed before you even started. So yeah, I think it's just important to know that you're not alone. Everyone else deals with the exact same thing. It's just that some people decide to commit to themselves and commit to their dreams, and some people don't. Some people think that they're the only ones who have this fear of failure, and they're the only ones who are, you know, not going to succeed, and it's only realistic for them to be where they are right now, and as though other people are different kinds of human beings that don't have this fear of failure. We all have it, but some people make a different decision about it and give themselves permission to go for a greater goal. And the one other point I will make here is that when it comes to your goals and those visions, you need to also think, has anyone else done it? Is this really impossible? Sometimes it's a little crazy, sometimes it seems a little bit improbable, but very rarely is it actually impossible. Like, very rarely does it go against the actual laws of science and nature. So if it doesn't go against the laws of science and nature, that means it is possible, it's scientifically possible. Maybe you don't know how it would happen, you don't know what are the steps to take to get there, but someone else in the world has done it or could do it, so why not you? And again, that just comes back to this whole thing I was talking about, giving yourself permission. So yeah, let me know below, how are you going to give yourself permission to go for your goals today? What is that goal that you need to just give yourself permission to set as your intention, as your vision? Even if you don't know the way to actually get there, what is that goal? And looking forward to seeing what those goals are below. And I'll see you guys on the next video.